I have a couple of channels. I'm still trying to get used to this whole thing. No excuse, no cap. This is the real. I'm just coming to you raw and for real. Some things gonna be polished, some things will not. If I'm coming off the top of my head, it's not gonna be any editing time around it. I think people today want to see more real folks, real people. I know some people still want the fantasy lifestyle, highly polished, everything's perfect type of thing, but that's not my reality of me or my life. Not Angela Marie. So I realize that I've been saying my channel all crazy wrong, so forgive me for that. I'm trying to get used to a lot of different things. There's been a lot of moving parts, a lot of changes in my life, but right now I'm on my way to the bank. That's what I'm doing. Something that's not over the top, nothing that's real exciting. It's just there's some urgent things I have to take care of at the bank. Yeah. So I gotta go there real quick, then go to my next place of business that I have to take care of, and after that, oh my gosh, so much has happened. My mom got sick Thursday, and I received a phone call that she was ill. My sister called me, told me that she was ill and everything. Then my other sister called. I got text call, all of that. So I ended up going to see about mom. I was getting myself ready to go to work, but that I just went and I seen about her, took her to the hospital. That was a whole inept type of situation. It was nonsense. Took her to a hospital that, from what I understand, is really more of a trauma type hospital, more so than really taking care of her for what she needed to be taken care of. If my mother got shot, which she didn't, thank God, or stabbed, thank God that didn't happen, I think this hospital would have been, it would have been a better fit. But we were there got there like about 5:45 p.m. They took an x-ray of her lungs and everything. They did, what else did they do for my mom? They took a blood test. Well, they drew blood for a blood test. They put that little thing in there. I don't know what they call that, but the little stem thing for drawing blood. I mean, actually also not for drawing blood, for IV drip. They put that in her arm. And what else? They said they were going to do a urine analysis, but they never did that. They didn't come back for that at all. That was crazy. The whole situation was crazy when it came down to dealing with, everything for my mom. It was crazy. I keep saying crazy a lot because it really did take, how they did everything was just so not what I was expecting from a hospital, or lack thereof. But let's see here, because I'm at the bank, but I do want to go over this. They took drew the blood and everything. Didn't do a urine analysis. Again, we were there at 5:45 p.m. I kept asking. My mother was complaining about her hand hurting. She had tears in her eyes. I held her hand. She was trembling. We were in the emergency room when I got to the house. Before I got there, a neighbor said, "Yeah, we gonna call it EMS." So I got there as quickly as I could. The EMS, I beat the EMS there. Got help get her dressed with my sister. She had to go to work. I had to go to work too, but she really needed to be there because she just started the job. Being on probation is pretty strict at their job. We don't want her to lose her job, and obviously, and everything. So I was there. My kids came with me. They drove me because they knew I was a mess. I could not just drive there because I would have been flying. They knew this, especially my daughter. So my son drove. My daughter was with me. We went there. She's upstairs in her bed. She had hugged my son, and tears just flowing down her eyes. She kept complaining about this massive headache. She was weak. She could hardly stand up. We were trying to get her dressed. We got her dressed. They came and they got the little chair thing to bring her downstairs and stuff because she couldn't really walk down and she was that weak. I didn't know prior that she had a sore throat for a few days. She said it was a bad sore throat. Didn't know that. She didn't speak on it, so wasn't aware. She went out to the store, she said, to get a few things. She didn't have a mask on or anything. Oh, also, okay. She didn't have a mask on and everything stuff. She said she wasn't really around anybody. But we got there, they swabbed her and stuff at the hospital. Said my mom had COVID. But guess when I found out when she had COVID? Probably about almost 7.5 hours later is when they told me that she had COVID, that she tested positive for COVID. They never came in there and did a drip. The doctor that came in at first, she told me that she was going to get her a Tylenol. Told us she was going to get her a Tylenol and hook her up to an IV. Never came to do that at the time. For the 7.5 hours we were there at the hospital. She was complaining, had tears in her eyes, shaking. I'm holding her. She's shivering. She's cold and she's hot. She's freezing and she's hot. All these things. She got all these chills and she's hot. But her headache is the main thing. She was, that and being cold, really, were the two major things she talked about. And as far as I know, they don't have to go anywhere to make Tylenol. But it took them forever to do that. So my mom's suffering almost 8 hours, uncomfortable in this treatment room, in their emergency room. You know they keep hospitals cold, but internally she had the chills because of that. She hadn't taken her blood pressure medicine. Didn't like the fact that she didn't do that because she haven't eaten. She got to eat. She didn't eat anything the day before that. She didn't eat anything that day in the hospital. She just sipped on a little Gatorade, a little water. That's basically it. I'm talking to this nurse. Me and this nurse, after a while, I got into it with her. At first it wasn't that way, but then I went there. Had to go there because didn't cuss her out. I was very mature professional about it. Didn't cuss her out. But I did have to go in a little firm with her because I needed answers. I needed to know what was going on with the test. If you tell me that the x-ray room, after they took the x-ray, and you said the room is just up the hallway a few doors down, and it only take 20 minutes, why didn't I get any confirmation about what was going on? Nobody told me anything what was going on with the test from her x-rays for almost 8 hours. The test from her blood for almost 8 hours. Nobody told me any of these things until I kept going to the desk and trying to seek out answers for my mom. After they said she had COVID, they said they were going to keep her in isolation. That nobody can visit her except for the nurse. Nurse is the only one that can come in the room. And the doctor's the only one that can come in the room. Those are the only people that can come in the room. So next thing, because I was talking to my mom, I said, Mom, going back out there to see if I can get any answers again. Went out there several times. Could not get in contact with the doctor. And every time I saw the doctor, I seen him twice at least when I went in the hall. He was running somewhere. So I was like, okay. And it literally running down the hall. So I couldn't catch up with him. So I was like, well, okay, what the heck going on? So this nurse, I'm asking her, I said, well, you know, can she have this or a Tylenol or something? They said they were going to hook her up to the IV. That's what the doctor said and stuff. She said, well, not all people need to be hooked up to the IV. I said, well, that's what the doctor said that she was going to do when we first got here. That she was going to give her an IV trip so she can kind of feel better and Tylenol. She never gave that to her. So every time I asked this nurse anything, she's like, can't you see I'm in the middle? She was hooking up somebody to an IV that came there way later than my mom that was on the stretcher in the hallway. This man was sitting up, standing up, all these things, but she was hooking him up to an IV. My mom, I had to assist her to get out the bed just to go to the restroom. So I was like, okay, and we came in the EMS. EMS brought us in there. So anyway, that whole thing was just crazy. I don't want to really rehash it because it's going to probably make me generate some more feelings that I don't want to feel right now. I'm so tired right now. I have to work my 12-hour shifts. Plus, I've been looking after mom for the last several days now because it was Thursday when this happened with my mom. And we had masks on when we entered the house and all that type of stuff, dealing with her and the whole time in the hospital. But they said they're going to keep my mama in isolation. But the nurse told me prior to knowing those results of my mom being COVID positive, they told me that she said COVID is just a cold. I don't understand why they're giving people COVID tests when they should be giving them cold tests. Nobody's dying from it. That's what she said. This is what the nurse said. But when I talked to the doctor, finally got the doctor, I knocked on the door when a security guard said, knock on the door because there are nurses and people in that door in this room. So I knocked on there. The doctor that came out the second time, the second doctor we see, he said, I wanted to know about her, what was going on. And he would say, yeah, she tested positive, this and that. She got, said something about sodium levels in her blood. He said urinalysis at first. I said, well, maybe you talking about somebody else because you didn't take a urinalysis. You're like, oh, okay. So he looked at the screen. Then he said, well, something about sodium in her blood. So I don't know if he switched it up, made that up, because I'm right there in his face at the door. Because he definitely was talking about somebody else with the urinalysis because they never did that. Never did that. That's something they said at first. The first doctor, the lady doctor was telling me she was going to do that. Never came back to do that. So he said, I said, okay. So I said, well, I see somebody, when I was in the room, I'm going all over the place. When I was in the room with my mom before I even seen the doctor, I heard somebody slide something in the room behind us. I turn around, there's a potty in there, but nobody's in there. Then the nurse come in, she got the paper cover up or whatever that is. She had this cover up on her, the hood, yellow, over her scrubs. Another type of mask, different than the one she had on before. It's a little more intense mask that she had on. Gloves and stuff on now that she didn't have on before. So she comes in there, and that's when she was saying all those things. They finally gave her the Tylenol, finally hooked her up to the IV, and it's like 8 hours later at this point. Finally did that. That sodium stuff that be dripping. So they put that in her arm. My mother she's in and out, going to sleep or whatever when it comes down to that. I went out in the hallway again. Got another lady. I was trying to ask the same nurse for some blankets because she cold. She said, can't you see I'm in the middle of a procedure out here? Well, I don't understand why people don't understand I'm doing what I can do. All this type of stuff. I said, and I'm going to be real blunt about this and very frank. I said, you get ready to get all the smoke. I mean, all the smoke at this point. Because we're talking about my mama. She's in here suffering. She said she'd rather be at home in her bed. If she gonna be suffering like that for hours with the same condition and symptoms she had when she left, when we was taking her to the hospital to find out what's going on, and they said that her pressure was slightly elevated. My mom take pressure medicine. She hadn't taken none the day before that or that day. So I was very concerned about that. And her temp was elevated. It was 99 point something. I think 99.6. So it was under 100, but they said it was slightly elevated. Probably because of everything that was going on with her. She hadn't eaten. She was very lethargic. She had chills, all of those things, and very weak. So I'm trying to get this all settled. That's why we were at the hospital. So when I talked to the doctor, I said, okay, now you said, now when I go outside the room, I see biohazard suits hanging by her door on the top. This little hook thing. A table there with those masks that's a little more intense than just the regular paper ones you see. There's some on the table as well as this little suit things too. And they taped something on the door. I wish I had took a picture of that. I did not. A note to the door. But I looked down the hall, the fourth door down, somebody else have the same thing set up on the outside that they didn't have prior. So when I talked to the doctor, I said, well, if you all say that COVID is nothing but a cold and nobody's dying from it, tell me this. Why you gotta keep my mama in isolation? Why are you trying to keep her here? You know what that dude did, what that doctor did when I said that? Raised his eyebrow. I don't know how to do it. My kids and my ex-husband naturally know how to raise that one eyebrow up. Raised the eyebrow, looked at me like, I was like, y'all was a bull crap. Y'all not gonna keep my mama up in here. She wanted to go home. So I went in, and then she said, well, the nurse all of a sudden now, she said, well, eventually you're gonna have to leave, but it's gonna be a while before I come back. So I'm not kicking you out now, and now she kind of changed her tune with me. But the whole time it was a fight just to try to get information or any type of assistance for my mom. The whole time she was there suffering. So another lady, like I said, she got me blankets, and my mom said she was hungry. She woke up finally again and said she's hungry. Okay, so she asked the doctor, that other lady that worked there, asked the doctor what her dietary needs are or whatever. He said, yeah, she can eat right now if that's not a problem. She can eat, she can have some, asked her about apple juice because she says she wants some. So she went and got it. Didn't take her 2 hours. That lady, the lady that worked there, I think she was another nurse or something, but I know she worked in the hospital because she was walking around and she worked there. She looked at her watch. She said, I seen what time you asked the other woman for it. It would have took her another 2 hours. She said the nurse that was supposedly assisting us, would have took her another 2 hours to get my mom a blanket, some more blankets, and the sandwich, and the juice. This woman, everything she got was in the same hallway, just a couple of steps down. It wasn't like she had to go around the corner. She didn't have to go downstairs. She didn't have to take an elevator or stairs nowhere. She didn't have to go around outside, around the back way. Nothing. She didn't have to do that. A few steps here and a few steps there. She was in my eyesight every time she was going to do something, and got those things from my mom. And I thanked her so much for that. Just for that little kindness, that little extra step of trying to make my mom comfortable. And I appreciate that. I said I'm not, and then the urinalysis. Oh, wow. I got to put this on there. When we went, my mom finally had to go to the restroom. So I had to basically help assist her there. I was holding her up, telling her to take her time and all that stuff. So the nurse was attending to somebody outside in the hallway, the same dude. They got an IV drip way before my mama. And then I end up, and I haven't seen the doctor with that dude at all. So I don't know, whatever. Because, this is nothing. They said they did not order, the nurse said that the doctor did not put the order in for the things that she said she was going to give her prior. Oh, she didn't. 8 hours later, she ended up getting it. It took 8 hours. So I don't know who's not reading what, who's not being truthful about what. But anyway, I took her to the restroom. I know I'm all over the place, but this was a headache situation with dealing with them at this hospital. I'm not going to name the hospital, but they are one that I'll put, if you are in Detroit, from Detroit area, and you know about a hospital that more take care of gunshots and knife wounds, trauma center type situation, trauma hospital. You from that area? If you know, you know. I'm not gonna say the name, but if you from that area and you understand what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. So that was nearby. That's where they took us. So it was what it was. That's what happened. I asked this woman I said she got to go to the bathroom. I went in the bathroom, didn't see any cups. Because I remember they had to take a urinalysis. Well, that's one of the things they said they wanted to do. But they didn't do it at all. So I asked for a cup because I didn't see any in there. There's no place where they had any, where they would have them anywhere in here. But I wanted to ask. I said, well, this time for us to get samples since she finally going to the bathroom. So you have a cup. And she said, I'm in the middle of doing a procedure. I can get you a cup now, but can't she wait? What? My mother's been laying on there in the bed in the treatment room for hours. I mean, it's like after 8 hours now. Basically 8 hours. She finally had to go to the restroom. At this point, she had been there for about 6 hours. And I'm up here saying, well, okay, let's get it done now. You know, I can get the cup, you know, help her with that, and you can have your sample. Since it's happening, let's do it in real time, okay? So she said, I'm in the middle of treatment right now. I'm doing something in the middle of treatment of a patient. I can't get you a cup. I said, well, she'd get ready to go now. Well, can't she just wait? What you mean, can't she wait? I had to help her out of the bed, hold her up so she can walk to the restroom. I had to assist her all the way with everything in there, pretty much. And you trying to say, can't she wait? She waited long enough just to get the IV trip, just to get a Tylenol that you didn't have to create or make. 8 hours. And she got to wait. And I'm trying to help y'all out with the test thing because she's doing it now. She had to go urinate now. And it's been 6 hours at that point. I'm like, where are the cups at? And if you can point me in the direction, I can get the cup. Well, she says in the room, but it's some locked situation because I don't work there. So I can get it. She said, well, we just had to revisit later. We ain't revisiting that later. I'm like, no need for that. No, thank you. I'm good. We're good. So I get her, helped her back in the bed, rewrapped her. I told her that she's wrapped like a fancy burrito. That's what I told my mom. Because I really wrapped her up. Just like she was a fancy burrito. That's what I called it. So I'm trying to be reasonable with this nurse. So anyway, I get her comfortable, had to get her a C cord for her phone because they said they were going to keep her whatever stuff. And I told my sister, everybody was calling me, texting. So I said, well, we're going to get her tomorrow. It was already early in the morning. So I said, I can't sleep. I get off at 6:30 in the morning, but she's not far from where I took her. She's not far from my job. So I went to work because I couldn't sleep. I was so agitated. I couldn't sleep. So I said, I'm just going to finish my last 3 hours. I didn't care. I just needed to kind of do something. So 53 minutes being at work, my sister called me and said they released her. I said, what do you mean they released her? They said they were going to keep her. They gave me all this headache this whole time. And these people there trying to get answers, trying to get assistance so my mom could get treatment. And this in that hospital, people there release her. She said, yeah, mama is in the lobby, the emergency room lobby. And they released her 53 minutes after I left. Because I told her, we're coming to get you in the morning, like when it's daylight. She wasn't going to stay in there as far as we were concerned. We were going to have her released. But that night, you know, they got the drip on her finally. I wanted to make sure somebody monitored her because that pressure thing was a concern to me too, and the temperature. So I was like, they finally got her on something. So I'm coming in. I said, Mom, where you at? I'm calling her. Come back. I got her. She said, she walking through the lobby. I said, Mom, don't rush. I'll come and get you. She walking. She wasn't doing that on her own. She said, I don't want to be in here no longer than I need to. So I helped her in the car, got her home, got her cleaned up, and put in the bed, all that stuff. And she was talking in the car She wasn't talking to me much in the hospital at all because she kept going in and out of sleeping and stuff, consciousness or whatever, sleeping. So I finally, she was talking. She said that was life-saving water. That's what she called it, her IV drip. Because she was dehydrated. She really was. And I was telling them that too when they go hook her up because her lips were white. They were white all around here. They were white. So I knew she was dehydrated. She had to be dehydrated that whole time for 8 hours. So I said, how's your head? She said, still hurt, but not like it was. Because they finally gave her Tylenol 8 hours later. So get her home, get her washed up, cleaned up, dressed, and everything, made her comfortable. Set her up and everything. Because I had to go home. I was tired. I had to go home. My sister was coming in really right after that. So she came in right after that. So it's like been a revolving door of her children coming back and forth to help her. So she hasn't been like alone for long since. So today I have to actually go and get her, make sure she gets seen by her doctor, because I don't want her to tell me what the doctor says. I want to know what the doctor says from his own mouth. Because my mom, she's independent and she's really used to doing her own thing. She has been doing that for many, many years, and she wants to do her own thing. She feel like that she we have lives and stuff. Her daughters have lives and stuff. We're grown now, but she don't want to burden us. That's what how she puts it. She don't want to burden us. She don't want to trouble us. She don't want to be a bother. I'm like, Mom, you gave us life. You're not a bother. There's no trouble. It's a blessing that you're still here, and I'm glad that she is. So, like I said, that was a chaotic situation that was just so trauma, built with trauma type stuff. It was a lot of drama. I'll say drama. It was drama. It's traumatizing how they handle things. I feel like I got PTSD from dealing with the hospital. I mean, my mama probably got a little of that too, but it seemed like she don't really remember much, because I talked about it, she didn't remember much, probably because she was in and out of going to sleep. Her head was banging. It was really excruciating pain, and the chills and stuff. So we trying to get her. She got 5 medications. She was released. 5 medications and stuff that she got to take, and we're making sure around the clock she take it. I'll be there, or another daughter be there. The other one haven't been able to make it, but she got 2 of us circulating through there. So yeah, that she had a neighbor there looking out for her, that type of thing. So we're making sure she's good. But I just came on here. That was on my mind, letting you know that that's some of the things, life issues that's been happening too. That's just piled on. That piled on to everything else that I've been going through. Going to the bank because I got to take care of another issue. But life has been lifing and lifing hard. But again, that's how it goes. But wisdom and stuff. I want to say some things that I'll say that's wise at this point to do when you are in this type of situation and stuff. Still be very convicted on your stance on how you want your loved ones to be treated. Let people know that you are there for them, that they just can't treat them any old type of way. I'm glad I was there that whole time. I think the fact that since I urged for answers, I pushed for answers, and I was urgently pushing them for that, and continuously pushing them for that, they released her. I don't know why they released her that soon, but it was 53 minutes span. Seriously, 53 minutes. They could have released her then, but they said, oh, we're going to keep her because this, that, and the other. And then in 53 minutes, they decided to release her after I left. Okay? So, yeah. You're going to keep her and isolate her. That's what they told me. And in 53 minutes, you decide to release her. So, yeah, I think that's a little odd. But nonetheless, I'm glad. Just push for, be an advocate and push for the care that your loved ones deserve. I still consider myself handling things with a lot of grace at this point, more so than I might have did prior when I was younger. I wasn't really a turn up type person, but I I did have somewhat of an attitude then too. So, and I still do. It's been a little monitored down. It has been like dialed down a lot. I'm not saying I'm a confrontational like type of person on people, but I am the type of person that, look, if I feel like somebody is not giving me, that's playing games or not being right with certain things, I'm at the stage and age in my life now where I kind of I have a different stance on how I do things now, a different way of seeing things. I try to look at things a little differently, and I try to make the adjustments that's necessary to make sure I do the right thing. It's possible. So, wisdom, like I said, some wise things to say. Be an advocate for your loved ones. Do not allow people to treat them how they're any way that they want to, and be there. Be that powering, standing force for them. Make sure that people know that you are there and you ride for your loved ones, and that you're not someone that's going to take any old type of treatment just because this is the treatment you want to level on somebody. And if you don't think the treatment is good enough, you let them know it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And you got to do better than what you did or lack thereof for your loved ones. So be there for them. Be an advocate. Ride for them. Let these hospitals, nurses, I know that some people say that they're short staffed. I get all of that. That they could be short staffed and stuff, but I still think there's a way that they can manage certain things. A hairdresser can have several people sitting around. This one hairdresser, several people sitting around, and she can have one at the shampoo bowl, one in her chair that she's working on their hair, and she can have the other person in the dryer, under the dryer. It's the stuff that's simple that they could have did for my mama hours ago. They could not manage those things as like a hairdresser can. And she can manage like 3 people at a time. They couldn't manage giving her IV drip in Tylenol in 8 hours. But let me know your thoughts on that. Click like, share, and subscribe. Again, I'm going to be journaling my life. Some things going to be raw, straight out the box from Angela Marie. Some things are just going to be, I'm just going to be me. That's the only way I know how to be. Some things going to be might be over the top polished. I said might be. Some things will be polished. Some things are just going to come to you real raw and complete. And that's all me. That's all I mean. And even if it is edited and stuff like that, that's still me. It's just that it's going to be a little more zhuzhed up. Just a little zhuzhy. There's nothing wrong with a little zhuzh. So I'll do that from time to time too on some things that I will create and put on here. But it's still learning, a lesson be learned. But again, turn on your post notifications. I'm trying to make sure I want to follow schedule of Tuesday and Sunday as far as uploading videos, but my live, they're going to come on sporadically. I can't plan when that happens, so I'm just letting you know that. So thank you so much for coming on here, subscribing, sharing, posting and stuff, building a positive community. That's what I'm doing. And let me know your thoughts. I do want to hear your thoughts. It's really important that I do. I want us to have a connection with one another. So you connecting with me, I'm connecting with you through creating and posting content. So I would like some type of commentary on these content that I post as well. And let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. And let me know how you would have handled this situation if it was your loved one too. Any advice, great positive advice. And even sometimes some things might sound a little negative, but then I can see where the positivity can come out of some of the stuff that might come off on a negative kind of connotation. If that make any sense to you. Because some things might not sound as great when it come out, but then you can kind of look at the common sense in it of what some people give as far as any comments and stuff like that, any advice. that type of thing, or any wise ways of looking at this whole thing. But again, have a great day, and I will come to you when Angela Marie come up with some more things, okay? Bye, and thank you for coming. Hey, I'm doing that like, anybody know who that old president was that did all of this? I'm not even going to say the name. I just threw it out there, okay? Peace, y'all, and have a great day. Bye.